This is the raw and uncut truth about living in Atlanta. Now, let me say this. I'm going to give you my experiences, right? I moved here with a couple $1,000s on me, right? I didn't have a job. I'm an entrepreneur, so wherever I go, I just get into things, I buy products and I sell them, I do eBay. I do all sorts of things in order to make money. Nowadays they have these gig apps, so you have Instacart, you got Grubhub, you have Postmates, you have Uber Eats, Lyft. There are several ways that you can make money without having a conventional job. So I moved down here with several $1,000s. My children and the mother of my children. And once we put down a deposit, paid a couple months on rent and took care of everything to be established here, we didn't have much. So I did a couple videos on Atlanta on my old channel, but I wanted to do a new one on this channel because I think like I was speaking on a broke man's terms when I did the older videos. Now that I'm making a little bit of money and I have money saved, I see Atlanta totally different. You see, when you're broke and you don't have anything, guess what? Atlanta could be a living hell. Because everything is expensive. I mean, if you want to live in a good area, if you want to stay in places like Sandy Springs, Dunwoody, Brookhaven, Buckhead, you have to pay. Everything costs money. Everything. You see what I'm saying? If you want to go out and have a good time, if you want to go to Georgia Aquarium with your children, the Atlanta Zoo, what do they have? What is it? Six Flags, Stone Mountain. You have to have money. Everything costs here in Atlanta. Yeah, true indeed. There's some free events like the Jazz Festival. There's different things that are free in the summertime as well as the winter. But a lot of times, you're going to have to pay. So I was speaking on a broke man's terms. Now that I have a little bit of money, now that I can go out and venture out and do certain things that I couldn't do when I was broke, Atlanta's totally different to me now. You see, so when you hear these stories, other people's stories, and they're talking about how great Atlanta is, and it's just land of opportunity, blah, 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 they're correct. That's if you have money. That's if you're successful. That's if you have a good job. Atlanta can be a heaven, but when you're broke, oh man, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like imagine a man that's hungry, right? He's starving. Imagine a man that's hungry looking at a store that has piles of food in that store, but he can't afford to go in that store to eat that food. That's how Atlanta is. You broke, but you driving by all these places and you seeing people driving nice cars and fancy, they eating at fancy restaurants. You broke, but you can't afford it. So I would advise you all, before you move to Atlanta, make sure that you have a job. Make sure that you have money saved on top of money saved. Personally, I would move to Atlanta if I was living somewhere else and I wanted to move to Atlanta. Personally, I would move to Atlanta if I had $10,000 saved to the side to move to Atlanta. And to a certain point, that's kind of chump change. But $10,000 just depends on the quality of life that you want to live. But $10,000, it'll get you in a nice place, nice apartment. You'll have a couple months up on rent. You have I would tell you to pay your light bill, pay ahead on your light bill, all your utilities. stockpile food, canned goods and stuff like that. Just make sure that you have a cushion for yourself. You don't want to move down here, bro. You just don't want to do that. Seriously. I've heard stories about how I moved to Atlanta, I had $50 in my pocket and at a half tank of gas, and I got there and I made it happen and I came up. That doesn't happen to everybody. Everybody is not a hustler. Everyone is not a hustler. So those stories, it don't happen all the time. It just don't. Another thing is the traffic. The traffic is horrible. Now, if you don't like traffic, you don't want to move here. You don't want to move here because 285 is backed up, 75 is backed up, 400 is backed up, and that can happen at any given time. People can't drive around here, so therefore there's wrecks almost every day, and that backs up traffic. Traffic is so bad. The back streets, when you say to yourself, you know what? Okay, Highway 400 is backed up. I'm trying to get to Alpharetta. I know the back streets. The back streets be backed up. So you don't want to move to Atlanta if you don't like traffic, because there's a lot of traffic. They're building everywhere, and people are migrating here like crazy. So guess what? Prices are going up. You want to stay in a nice, if you want to get, bougie and everything, you want to stay in a high-rise building. Let's say in Buckhead. That's going to cost you about $2,000-$3,000 a month for a one-bedroom. Let's say you want to stay in Sandy Springs. You want to stay in a nice big house. Oh, that's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. Yeah, true indeed. It's people of all races and ages that are down here doing good for themselves. I mean, to see Bentleys and Porsches and Ferraris and Lamborghinis is nothing. It's nothing. But you gotta work hard. You gotta work. You gotta hustle, because everybody else is out here hustling. And since I've been here, I've changed a lot. I've seen the change. I've seen the growth. Since I've been here, I've woken up. I've been asleep all this time because I thought, I was doing good for myself. I thought I was so-called middle class. Nah. I'm making a little bit of money. I got some money in the bank. I'm not living in a bad area and shootouts and guns and all that stuff. I don't have to worry about that. Every now and then I forget to lock my door, lock my car. I don't have to worry about somebody breaking in. But at the end of the day, I'm still poor. I am not middle class. I'm not. I don't make, middle class is like about 80, 100,000, somewhere around that. I don't make that. I'm not in that tax bracket. Not in there. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not embarrassed because I'm on the come up. So I suggest for those that are like me that have some money saved in the bank and we doing, decent, we have a decent car, we stay in a nice area, I suggest to you to stay in your tax bracket. In other words, don't go out spending money every day. Don't go to Buckhead, going to these fancy high-end restaurants and spending money that you don't have. Nah, you come up first and then you spend that type of money. The people that you see in these fancy restaurants, they can afford a $200 plate of food. I can't. I have children. You know how much you know what $200 could do for me? I'm a vegetarian, so I take that $200 and go to the grocery store and buy fruits and vegetables. I mean, to be real with you, it's funny, yo, because I'm saying I can't afford a $200 plate, but man, I'm a vegetarian, and it is expensive. I have to buy vegetables every day. Fruits and vegetables every day. My children, I juice every day. Every day I juice for them. So I would tell you to stay within your means. You understand? Let's move on. What haven't I covered? Dating. If you choose to date, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? They're saying the STD rate is extremely high in Atlanta. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about that because there's a thing called abstinence. And that's the problem with people. People want to talk about STDs and, having babies and complaining about this and that. If you keep your legs closed, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Straight up. So, what protects you from STDs? What protects you from being a future baby mama? Or deadbeat dad is to close your legs. Because condoms break. So, try a thing called abstinence. That works. That's foolproof. That's foolproof, right? Also, people talk about the LGBTQ community that's here. Listen, as long as you mind your business, they'll mind theirs. They have every right to exist on this planet, just like anybody else. They say people say that there's a big gay community around here that's here. I've seen it. I've seen the presence, like in downtown Atlanta. I've seen it in Buckhead. But at the end of the day, like I said, you mind your business, they'll mind theirs. Period. What else? DL men. They say there's a lot of down low men that's down here. I don't know because I'm not a DL man. If you get with a man, I just think, in my opinion, if you probe him, sooner than later, he's going to reveal himself to you. Sooner than later. And the minute that you find out that he likes other men or whatever have you, dead him. Dead him. But personally, I mean, I wouldn't date in Atlanta as a whole. Because Atlanta is like Hollywood Atlanta. Everybody's trying to be somebody that they're not. There's a lot of fake stuff going on around here. Fake lips, fake butts. People fronting like they have money, but they don't. They're hanging around celebrities to make themselves look like they're doing big things, but they're not. They going to the ATM trying to withdraw $3 out of their bank account. And that they're at a negative 57, their bank account is overdrawn. But I would say, you know, if you want to live in Atlanta, you know, keep your nose clean. There's a lot of things going on. You know, you got sex trafficking going on here. You have gangs. You have all types of stuff going on here. But if you're not that type of person to be into negativity, to be into that foul stuff, then you don't have nothing to worry about. If you're a type of person to work 9 to 5 and you have a family and you want the best for your family and you're striving to be the best that you can be, you don't have to worry about all of that BS. There's a lot of strip clubs out here. You know, if you like strip clubs, hey, this will be your heaven. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with the strip clubs. I don't give money to women that can't give me something in return. I don't want no lap dance. I don't want none of that. If I'm going to give you some money, you best to be doing something more than that. If you get my drift. I'm trying to keep this video PG-13. Period. I'm not going to just give you no money. That's not going to happen. They have a lot of clubs. You know, and some of those clubs have turned into hookah lounges. So, you know, it's like people not even dancing anymore. You go to these clubs, people smoking hookahs, and they sitting in these little cubicles that they rented out with couches in, drinking liquor and taking selfie pictures. So yeah, man, you know, there's a lot of negativity here and there's a lot of positivity here. You know, you have culture. You have culture here. You have black history here. Atlanta is a black city, you know. And even though it's a black city, it's surrounded around diverse cities or counties, you know. So when people talk about Atlanta, they refer to Atlanta and they include the whole metropolitan area. But in all actuality, you have the city of Atlanta, and then you have surrounding counties such as College Park, Dunwoody, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Kennesaw, Alpharetta, what else? Milton, what am I missing? Brookhaven, what else? It's a bunch of surrounding counties that make up Atlanta. So you have the city of Atlanta, but then you have surrounding counties. And most of those counties or cities or whatever you want to call them, that's where people really stay at. That's where real people really live. So when you visit Atlanta and you go to downtown Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna. If you move here, you're not gonna be living in downtown Atlanta, and you're not going to go downtown Atlanta every day. That's not what you're gonna do. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be living in a place like me, such as myself, Sandy Springs, and you're gonna be in that area. That's where you go grocery shopping, you know, to the malls and all of that stuff. And then when they have events, or you want to go to a nice club, or you know, a bar or something like that, then you'll go to downtown Atlanta. But even that, I don't even go downtown Atlanta like that. You know, I mean, most of the time I might, you know, go to Buckhead. You know, the Braves Stadium, behind, like in that whole area, there's restaurants and different. In other words, there's a lot of different places to chill at in the metropolitan area, aside from Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta is like, it's just stay cluttered all the time. So you're gonna find your little niche, your little area that you chill at, you and your friends party at. But other than that, I hope I cleared everything. I think I cleared everything up. Atlanta's a great place to live at. That's if you have money. If you have money. If you don't, it's gonna be a living hell. Because us folks, us black people, I'm not lying, man, we're doing good here and we're doing bad here too. There's a difference. There's a difference. When you look at College Park, East Point, and all of that like South Fulton County, then North Fulton County. When you look at Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, Dunwoody, Brookhaven, Buckhead, there's a big difference. So I hope that this video is it informs you. I hope that you are able to make a good decision when you decide to move to Atlanta or not. Other than that, this is Langston 2092. I want you to like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe.